Ah, 2023. A lot happened. A lot of good, a lot of bad. You know what else happened? Movies. There was an actor strike, there was a writer strike. But even through that, movies happened. And I watched a lot of them. And this video will be just me going over the movies I watched, the ups, the downs, and everything in between. So grab a bucket of popcorn, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So not every single movie I watched this year is in exact order in the date that I do it, but it will go from January to February to March to April all the way through. So even if I was off a week, especially in like the earlier months, it's a general consensus of what the movies are. With that being said, the first movie I watched this entire year was You People. I watched this with my dad. It was okay. I give it I got some notes, 6.5 out of 10. It's not really my type of movie. I don't really watch rom-coms. I watched it with him. There was some funny pop culture stuff, some funny jokes. Overall, it was very different than most rom-coms, I believe. Again, I haven't seen any. But yeah, overall, 6.5 out of 10. Do better, Jonah. The first movie I saw in theaters this year was Megan. Now, this movie was good. It was a horror movie. I don't normally watch horror movies, but this one excited me because it's Blumhouse. I generally like Blumhouse films. And I watch it with my friend who really does like horror movies. So I give it a 9 out of 10. There really wasn't much else it could do. It got done what it needed to get done, and that's the most important part. 9 out of 10 for Megan. For February, I watched two movies. I watched Cocaine Bear, and Cocaine Bear is a comedy, action, horror. It was R-rated, but I still really liked it. I watched that one with my dad as well, just like you people. And it got done when it needed to get done. Like I said, it wasn't really anything glaringly wrong. It was sort of like a Sharknado. I enjoyed it. 9.8 out of 10. For the second movie I watched in February was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This movie was okay. Kang was cool. I liked Jonathan Majors in that. I'm not going to say anything else. Scott Lang, always hilarious. Hope Van Dyne, everything was funny. Just again, the writing was off. The CGI was pretty strange. MODOK was comic accurate, but just because it's comic accurate doesn't mean it's right. Okay, like it isn't. The 1960s comics aren't the Bible. All right, they're just comics that people also could have made mistakes and lapse of judgment also. So I give it a 7 out of 10. For March, I also watched two movies. The first one I watched was 65 with Adam Driver. It stunk. Literally one of my least favorite movies of all year. It tried to be dinosaur-y with not very many good dinosaurs. There was awful dialogue because the other girl didn't even speak English. I just. They kind of ruined the whole plot twist of them being aliens by just right in the beginning saying, hey, we're aliens. So I'm not a fan. Sorry, it's 4 a.m. by the way, if you can't tell. Um, it's not the best movie ever. Overall, 5.5 out of 10. And the second movie I watched in March was Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. It was okay. I give it a 7.3 out of 10. Definitely could have been better. With the closing off of the DCU, it was basically the last movie that we knew was gonna, that we didn't know was gonna be in the new DC universe. So it definitely kind of suffered from that, but overall, I'd still say that it's an okay movie. It did what it needed to get done, just not the best way possible. Right, so for April, I only watched one, and it was the Super Mario Brothers movie. Ugh, sorry. This movie I loved, honestly. I watched it with my mom because we don't really watch movies together, and she watched and played Mario like as a kid. So I thought the voice acting was amazing. The songs were good. The action was good. The references were amazing. 8.5 out of 10. Now for May, we have our first ever 10 out of 10. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This movie, people have said so much about it, I can't even really go over it, but I will, because that's what I do here. I absolutely thought it was beautiful. James Gunn is one of the best directors of all time. Don't quote me on that. In terms of Marvel movies, how about that? James Gunn is the best director in terms of Marvel movies. Okay? Don't get mad at me now. It was just beautiful. I thought Rocket's story, how it ended with Lila, was beautiful. Chris Pratt or Star-Lord being on his own now kind of is cool. Speaking of which, I just got this the other day. Either way, doesn't matter. I loved it. 10 out of 10. Now the next one I actually brought for my little sister's birthday. She turned 8. How old did she turn? 7? No. 9. She turned 9. She turned 9 and took her to see The Little Mermaid. Wasn't my type of style of movie. It was good though. It kind of did what the classic did, but a little bit worse. So 7.5 out of 10. Now June might be our best month yet. First movie I saw this year was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. 10 out of 10. Again, just like Guardians of the Galaxy, I really don't have to go over why this movie is so good. It's just that good, alright? It just was beautifully animated. The story overall was amazing, and I just loved it. I thought all the references and different stories, different multiversal stuff was amazing. 10 out of 10. Now the next one, I actually regret putting this high. Since I've watched The Flash, I've changed my opinion on it. I am going to stick with the rating overall, but just now I don't agree with an 8.7 out of 10 for The Flash. The last one was actually kind of a sleeper. Nimona, 9.5 out of 10. I also thought it was really funny, just like Spider-Verse. They all just did really good in it. All the animators, all the cast, all voice actors, directors, whatever. It was just good. Okay, so I loved it. 9.5 out of 10. Now for July, this is kind of funny. Funny thing is about July is that it is probably like the most discrepancy between the highest and the lowest. The highest is a 9 out of 10, and the lowest is a 5 out of 10. So I'll just do one clip with this. Barbie, 8.5 out of 10. We all know it's amazing. It's hilarious. It's funny. I love it. Oppenheimer, 9 out of 10. Amazing film. I did a video on how they use color to tell a story. Watch that one. That's really good too. And then Haunted Mansion. I'll never get over that. The fact that I wasted my money on Haunted Mansion sickens me. 5 out of 10. Okay, so at this point on, I'm actually just going to do 1 month at a time instead of doing individual clips because it's going to be a little bit harder to edit them together. First one, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, 9.2 out of 10. Also funny. Blue Beetle, 8 out of 10. It was alright. I mean, it was fun. I liked it. It was not awful, but they definitely could have done better, and I hope to see the guy that plays him, can't remember his name right now, hope to see him more in the new DCU with James Gunn. I trust James Gunn, by the way. Best director when it comes to Marvel movies. And the last one was Strays, 9.1 out of 10. I've never laughed so hard in a movie, but it is so raunchy. Do not take your mom to see it, alright? There was only one for September. That's actually when I took my break. Paw Patrol the Mighty Movie. 9 out of 10. Phoenix, really? 9 out of 10? Buddy. Sticking with the rating. 9 out of 10 it is. One of these I actually made a video on that came out in November of 2014, but I watched it in October, so I counted it as one of the episodes in October. Interstellar, another 10 out of 10. I think there's only 3 10 out of 10s on here, and Interstellar is one of them. I made a whole video on it. It's amazing. Interstellar's great. Five Nights at Freddy's, also amazing. I thought it was really funny. Not funny. It was funny, but there's some funny parts with like Michael. Overall, good movie. 8.5 out of 10. And then Ponyo, 9.2 out of 10. That one also was like, I just didn't have time to go see movies in theaters, so I just watched them at home. Ponyo, I watched a lot as a kid. 9.2 out of 10. Really, there's not much they could do to make it better. But about 8%, I guess they could. Now, November was actually the highest in terms of how many movies I watched. I actually watched 4. So we're just going to speed run it. Bella, 6.5 out of 10. Hated that. It was kind of cheesy. There was only one bad part in it I talked about. Marvel's a 7.3 out of 10. Still pretty much liked it. It just could have done better. Constantine, 8.7 out of 10. Also love that. I love superhero movies, alright? And Ballad of Snakes and Songbirds, 9.3 out of 10. I loved it. I thought it was second best Hunger Games movie. The first one also obviously being the second one. Alright, that's November. And the last movie of the month, of the year, of 2023. Leo, The Holdovers, and Aquaman 2. Also, you might have to do some math on this. This might also be like the highest one on average. Leo was a 9 out of 10. That was really funny. I loved it. I've recommended it to everyone I'm watching that wants to watch it. The Holdovers was a 9.3 out of 10. Again, not really my type of movie, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked it being a timepiece. I like Paul Giamatti. He was great. And Aquaman 2, I still stand by this. It's a 9.3 out of 10, alright? I know I gave a lot of 9.3s, alright? I get it. I don't care. I liked it. Maybe next year I'll make it a little more varied with like 9.2s and 9.4s. Alright? I liked Aquaman too. I don't care what you say. It was good.